Hey, future RN. Sinus tachycardia is one of the most common ECG rhythms you are definitely going to see on the NCLEX, especially in questions about stress, fever, pain, and emergencies. So today, we're going to break down what it is, its causes, signs, what to do first, treatment, and monitoring, so you can handle these questions with total confidence. Welcome to ClearPath NCLEX, your go-to channel for high-yield content that helps you pass on the first try. So let's dive in and break down exactly what you need to know. So what exactly is sinus tachycardia? Let's make this super simple. The word sinus tells us the electrical impulse is starting right where it should, in the SA node. Just think of the SA node as the heart's natural pacemaker. It's working perfectly. The only issue here is that it's firing just a little too fast. And tachy, well, that just means fast. So put it together, sinus tachycardia is a normal, healthy rhythm that's just moving at a rate over 100 beats per minute. That's it. Now, when you look at an ECG strip for sinus tach, you're going to notice that everything else looks remarkably normal. The rhythm is perfectly regular, like a metronome. You'll see a nice upright P wave right before every single QRS complex. That PR interval, it's sitting right in that normal 0.12 to 0.20 second window. And the QRS complex is nice and narrow, less than 0.12 seconds. The only real giveaway, the only clue, is the rate. It's just beating along faster than 100 beats per minute. That brings us to the most important question you can ask. Why does this happen? Seriously, understanding the why is the absolute key to answering NCLEX questions correctly. The heart speeds up for a reason. It's the body's response system kicking into high gear, demanding more oxygen and blood flow. So let's get into the most common triggers you're going to see on your exam.
Okay, here are the high-yield causes you absolutely need to have locked in. Let's group them to make them easier to remember. First, you've got your physiological stressors, things like a fever, pain, and even emotional stress. They all put a huge demand on the body. Then you have low volume or low oxygen states like hypovolemia from dehydration or hemorrhage, and hypoxia or anemia. It makes sense, right? If there's less fluid or less oxygen to go around, the heart has to pump faster to compensate. Next up are the things we put into our bodies, medications like albuterol and epinephrine, and stimulants like caffeine or nicotine. And finally, you have serious underlying conditions like a pulmonary embolism or heart failure. For the NCLEX, please remember the big ones: fever, pain, and hypovolemia.
So how's your patient actually going to look? Well, if the heart rate is only a little bit elevated, say between 100 and 120, the patient might not feel a single thing. They can be completely asymptomatic. But if that rate starts climbing too high, the heart's ventricles don't get enough time to fill up with blood between beats. This lowers cardiac output, and that's when symptoms start showing up. Your patient might complain of palpitations, that feeling of their heart racing, or they might feel dizzy and short of breath. In more serious cases, you could even see hypotension, and that is a major red flag for instability. Okay, this next section is critical. For those application and priority style NCLEX questions, knowing what to do first is everything. So when you see sinus tachycardia in a question, what is your immediate priority? Let's walk through the essential nursing actions step by step. Always follow the nursing process. You assess first. Check their airway, breathing, and circulation. Get a full set of vitals and ask them about their symptoms. After your assessment, it's time to put on your detective hat. Why is their heart racing? Are they in pain? Do they have a fever? Are they showing signs of dehydration? Your second step is to identify and treat that root cause. Now, if the patient is stable, you'll just keep monitoring them while you treat the cause. But if they become unstable, showing signs like low blood pressure or confusion, that's when you call for help immediately.
Let me say this again because it is the most important takeaway. Sinus tachycardia is almost always a symptom of something else. It's not the primary disease. This is the core concept you need to burn into your brain. Your job isn't just to slow the heart down, it's to figure out why it's so fast in the first place. Fix the underlying problem, and the heart rate will almost always fix itself. Building right on top of that, our treatment strategy always starts by addressing the cause. If your patient is dehydrated, you're going to give fluids. If they're in pain, you provide pain meds. If they have a fever, you give them antipyretics. Medications that directly slow the heart, like beta blockers or calcium channel blockers, they're usually reserved for cases where that high heart rate just won't come down despite treating the cause, and the patient is still feeling symptoms. And while you're doing all this, you are monitoring constantly. Keep a really close eye on their heart rate, their blood pressure, their mental status, and their urine output to make sure they're getting good perfusion.
Patient education is another huge nursing responsibility. You need to teach your patients to immediately report any symptoms like palpitations, dizziness, or chest pain. Advise them to avoid common triggers they can control like caffeine and nicotine. And simple lifestyle habits like managing stress and just staying hydrated can also make a huge difference. And here's a crucial safety point. Remind them to never abruptly stop taking their prescribed heart medications because that can cause a dangerous rebound effect.
All right, you have the core knowledge down pat. Now let's put it into practice with a quick drill to really lock in these concepts and get you feeling super confident for the NCLEX. You've got this.
Question 1. Take a moment to think about it. The answer is greater than 100 beats per minute. Remember, tachy means fast, and 100 is that key number. Question 2. This is a classic clinical scenario. What is your priority action here? Your priority is to treat the underlying causes. You have two very clear reasons for the tachycardia right in front of you: fever and pain. Addressing those with ordered medications is absolutely the most effective first step. Okay, question 3 is all about medications. Which of these is a likely culprit? Take a second. The answer is B, albuterol. As a bronchodilator, it has stimulant effects, and it's famous for increasing heart rate. Remember, metoprolol and diltiazem do the exact opposite. They're used to slow the heart rate down. All right, time for a select all that apply question. Which of these are common causes? The correct answers are fever, hypovolemia, and pain. These are those classic stressors that increase the body's metabolic demand. Vagal nerve stimulation actually slows the heart, causing bradycardia. And it's hyperthyroidism, not hypo, that speeds everything up. Question 5. This is a critical thinking question. Your patient is becoming unstable. What do you do immediately? Your immediate priority is to call the rapid response team. Hypotension, dizziness, and chest pain are all huge warning signs of instability. This is a potential emergency, and patient safety requires an immediate team-based response, period. And our final question is all about patient teaching. What's the most important point here? The best answer is to teach them to avoid stimulants and practice stress management. Your education should always be targeted to the specific cause. That's what empowers the patient and helps prevent it from happening all over again. Let's wrap this all up with your final NCLEX cheat sheet. Sinus tachycardia. It's a normal rhythm, just faster than 100. The key causes you have to remember are fever, pain, anxiety, and low volume or oxygen. Your number one priority is always, always, always to treat the underlying cause first. And if your patient becomes unstable, you call for help immediately. Honestly, sinus tachycardia is super predictable on the NCLEX. Master these causes and that treat the cause first principle, and you will absolutely crush these questions. Thanks so much for watching ClearPath NCLEX. If you found this breakdown helpful, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more high-yield NCLEX content. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss the next game-changing tip. Drop a comment below and let me know, which cause of tachycardia do you always remember? I read every single one. You are doing amazing. Keep studying. You've got this. I'll see you next time.